The 5-minute marriage checkup. Let's do this. It'll only take a couple minutes. I want to help you discover if your marriage is healthy or it needs to be adjusted. So stay with us. If you haven't subscribed, please do hit the subscribe button. If you have a question, put it in the box. I'm going to try to do this in 5 minutes because what I find is that it's just good to evaluate if everything's structurally sound. Marriage is not just a relationship, it's a structure. And when the structure is incomplete, the relationship will have challenges. Many times people want to work on this problem or that problem or this problem, but their structure is so incompatible with success that they never get the intimacy that they really want. So let's talk about your structures. So if you walked into my office, I'd ask you these kinds of questions. 1, do you have friends outside your marriage? Sounds like a strange way to start, but you want to have some male and female friends that you can connect to on a variety of topics and things that you're interested in so that your marriage doesn't need to be the only place where friendship and growing happens. And these are same gender relationships. You want to avoid opposite gender relationships unless you both agree that that's a safe person for obvious reasons. But you want to have that. You want to date. Dating structure is really important. Once a week or once every other week minimum. Why do you want to do that? Because you married each other to be lovers and friends. So many times couples move into husband and wife roles, and yet they married because they were lovers and friends. If you don't stay lovers and friends, your marriage will be weak. Dating is a way to focus just on each other. So let me give you a few quick ideas on that. And a lot of this stuff is in my book, The 10-Minute Marriage. It gives you several things you can do as just regular disciplines to maintain a very vibrant marriage. So on date night, you can rotate responsibility. 1 week, it's his day. He decides where he wants to go, how he wants to have fun. And you're the guest and you're the happy camper guest. Next time, it's her turn. She decides where she wants to go, how she wants to have fun, and you're the happy camper guest. Now, stay within your physical limitations and stuff like that, but make sure this is on the calendar. Get an angel sitter for your little angels, right? Pay them well, get it set up, it's in the calendar so that your friends and family know this night of the week is their night or their morning, whatever it is, so that there's kind of like this kind of sacredness around that time. Because you need a place where you're not mommy and daddy or grandma or grandpa, and just relax and have some fun and try to do more than just a movie. You know, if you need help with ideas, there's lots of blogs and books on dating ideas. Go print some of those off and have some fun. The next thing is spiritually. Make sure you have some kind of spiritual discipline. You know, if you're going to a church or some kind of religious organization, great. But I'm talking about just praying together. 2 minutes a day, 1 minute a day. God, thank you for my spouse. Thank you for our family. Help us to make these decisions, whatever's in your heart. And both of you pray out loud. This will help you so much to stay grounded. Another thing is how well do you share your feelings with each other? Now, I can tell you in Western culture and Eastern culture for that matter, they're not really good at teaching us how to identify and feel feelings. Oftentimes people have to go to therapy just to find out what they feel and how to communicate what they feel. If you have challenges in this area, get the book Emotional Fitness. It can help you in 60 days become very emotionally literate, but sharing just 2 feelings a day. Now there's some guidelines when you do this. You don't share feelings about each other when you do this exercise. You maintain eye contact and you don't give each other feedback on the feelings. You just share feelings that happened to you that day. Today I felt this when ... Okay, you want to do that 2 a day will keep you emotionally fit with each other and current. And you want to do that because otherwise emotions will build up and you have those 2 o'clock in the morning conversations to get to what you felt a week ago. You don't want to do that. Okay, so you have your friends, you have your feelings, right? You have your spirituality, and you also need to talk about sex. Sex is so important in a marriage, so important. What's the frequency? Have you agreed on the frequency? I'm going to give you another book. And I'm giving you these books because they will fill out if you're weak in this area. Upgrade your sex life. It'll help you establish your frequency that you both agree on, rotate initiation, and in that material, you learn what is your particular sex language, what is your desires that you like to hear when someone asks you for sex, what you want to hear during sex, and even after sex. It gives you a roadmap for all of that. But make sure that your frequency's in sync and that you're both initiating. Let me give you a free tip here. Eyes open, lights on, nurturing conversation is your best way for sex. So don't do the closed eyes, no lights on, and you won't be attaching to each other. There's a lot of neuroscience behind what I'm talking about, so just trust me on that. You got to talk about money. Be in agreement. If you're giving to organizations, be in agreement. If you're saving, be in agreement. If you're investing, be in agreement. If you're going to do college funds, money for kids' cars, retirement adventures, you want to have those. If you're going to have a budget for travel, have a budget for Christmas, have a budget for auto things breaking down. If you have a budget, that's really great. Stick to it as much as possible. If you have creative ways of creating wealth, that's fantastic. Just be in agreement on that, okay? So you have your social, you have your spiritual, you have your emotional, you have your sexual, and you have your money. Make sure those structures are functioning well. Now that's your checkup. The 10-Minute Marriage can help you with a lot more ideas. Okay, the other books, Emotional Fitness, Upgrade Your Sex Life, there's so much here. I've written several marriage books. They all are helpful. But in just a few minutes, just evaluate your marriage. And if you're feeling more married and alone than married, check out something called Intimacy Anorexia. You might have that going on. And make sure that you're just staying open-hearted with each other. If you're having challenges, Heart to Heart Counseling Center's here for you, 719-278-3708. But just every once in a while, pop this in and make sure that your structures are sound. If your structures are sound and your hearts are open, you can have the most happily ever after that's possible within your personalities. Okay? So have fun, go to work, and remember to subscribe. And if you have a question, put it in the box.